Blue Revolver was my first 1cc, an achievement I look fondly on. The game made me comfortable with bullet hell, getting me accustomed to point systems, capitalizing on resources, and most importantly, cementing the idea that no matter how complex the enemy shot pattern, there is always a gap to navigate through. I would die repeatedly in the process, but be incented to continue as each time I would get further, with more extends and score than before. With its attractive pixel graphics and powerful electronic soundtrack, I wouldn't mind the restarts. I was having a blast. In the world of Blue Revolver, magic has a structure similar to code, which can be used to alter reality. Blue Revolver is an outfit of many that serves to ensure things don't get out of hand, and when it does, by one of our pilots no less, the game starts. There are 3 difficulties to choose from, influencing enemy bullet patterns via a ranked system. Your status is denoted at the top, increasing gradually with score and, surprisingly, per frame. Upon death, it resets to the mode's starting value. Normal is maxed at rank 2, the default of Hyper, that increases to 5, and Parallel locks it there. The differences can feel stark across ranks, with the first level alone being transformed to one requiring heavy movement to avoid a hit at max. I dig the modes, as it feels like a natural progression jumping from one to the next. One clutch at your disposal are your bombs, but hey, when aren't they? Not only does it grant you 6 seconds of invulnerability upon use, but converts enemy fire into ammo for your special weapon. You have choice in their selection, like the shot pattern, that tightens and slows you down cave style if held, and they do vary between the 2 pilots. Perhaps due to her air of playful mischief, and her role in the story, Mei is my favorite, even if her counterpart Val may be more practical to my playstyle. For instance, the cluster missile for Mei fires off and does amazing damage, but Val's variant has a wider spread even if weaker. For crowd control, that's a trumping benefit, like a shot option that orients based on the movement of the ship, rather than directly following it. It's cool how the game appeals to player preference, chiefly how special use is encouraged as it maximizes the score multiplier. For a player that plays for survival like I do, it makes you play more aggressively to hit extend targets faster. And, in tandem with a conditional bonus called a break, which each stage features several of, you're bound to get a few 1-ups. When a break is possible, you do receive both a sound and visual cue, but they do come across as random initially. And when dealing with clouds of bullets, it can be too much to capitalize on. There is a visual guide in the extra section of the game, by the way. If you end up losing a life, not only do bullets become more manageable from a rank reset, but also 2 bombs are replenished with special ammo equal to half of the meter. It staves off the feeling of being overwhelmed, bullet hell seeming doable. This makes the game very beginner friendly, especially when normal deploys all available bombs to prevent a death, but never to the point of being dumbed down without challenge. Later stages take skill to survive, even with a low rank. This gives Blue Revolver an interesting difficulty curve where new players will make growth, not just for the game, but in the genre if they keep playing. I can't deny though, that sometimes it can be demoralizing to see a rank reset, especially by mistake, as if you're being underestimated. But either way, it keeps players on their toes, and from becoming overconfident. When all your lives are consumed, there aren't any continues to fall back on. You're restarting a run. You can unlock free play, among other things, from points after every run, but the steep price forces players to keep at it. Also, if you do enable free play, your score is able to be saved to a leaderboard. This was a huge deal for me starting off and a reminder to use all the tools at my disposal. I recall saving up for free play, but getting further to beating the game each time, that by the time I did buy it, I came to realize I could reach the final boss. Again, later stages have dense patterns even on normal, so I had improved to the point I didn't need it. Just knowing that the finish line was within reach had me raring to go. When I did cross it, I recall yelling in celebration. It was an achievement. This genre was for me. Blue Revolver is not without other features worth a look. One of the things I never bothered with starting off was the mission mode, and it does a splendid job in preparing you for situations encountered in the main game. Even if some challenges are more gimmick like evading fading bullets, or using an experimental special not available for the main game, they help in forming the sense of routing, hitbox limits, and most importantly evasion. If you prefer to practice the stage instead, you have that available as well, with the granularity of selecting the specific part you may be having trouble on with your preferred loadout. It's a godsend. I kick myself for not tapping into these 2 earlier because it's often 1 or 2 areas that make you see the game over screen, and they will foster the needed skill. I did mention earlier that the game features unlockables. Some of them are alternate ship colors, game backgrounds, and remixes of the game's music. All the music in Blue Revolver is amazing, so even if others don't share the sentiment, I do appreciate that they offer a link in the extras section to purchase the remix album, Double Action, the name of the TBA update for the game, and the original soundtrack is available to buy from Steam. Blue Revolver was very instructive to me, with the skills gained through it being transferable to other shmups. It made me improve as a player, I just wasn't aware to what degree. I haven't touched normal since I beat it a couple years back, but I decided to give it a go for the footage and nostalgia. While I did lose a couple lives between stages 3 and 4, I still had 3 to spare after beating the final boss. This was very humbling, because when your runs are killed on hyper or parallel modes, it can feel like you're not making any progress anymore. You can take for granted what you have made. When I reviewed Zero Ranger, I mentioned that Blue Revolver was one of 3 shmups that got me started on PC, and that I have gone on to play many since then. With every game having different mechanics and difficulties, it's not always clear how to assess where you stand now versus when you started. The experience of reviewing Blue Revolver made things lucid. Blue Revolver taught me how to respond rather than react to gameplay, to make full use of available tools, and to have faith that I can maneuver through overwhelming numbers. I recommend it to anyone interested, especially those new to Bullet Hell, as they will develop as a player while having fun through the process. Thanks for watching. The next shmup I want to cover is the one that I've gone back to the most, Eschatos. Like Blue Revolver and Zero Ranger, I'm excited to replay it, and there is a reason for why it's so special to me. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. If you have any thoughts, please leave a comment, or if you found potential in me and what I can produce, please subscribe. Once more, thank you all, and have a good one.